Now, trying to figure out what that represents in terms of usage by individuals is a little bit difficult. I was not able to find or get the kind of information I would like to have had, but I did find some material in the U.S. Census which says that the average size of a household in Moscow is just over 2 individuals. If you break that down, however, it breaks down into about 30% of the households being one person in the household, 40% being 2 persons, and another 30% being more than 2 people in the household. Water usage for those 3 groups is going to be very different. Water usage and therefore sewage generation is going to be very different. You're going to have many more people, you're going to have much more volume with the larger households. If we are trying to conserve water, which I think we are trying to do, we have built into the water fee a penalty, basically, for how much watering one does in the summertime. Water usage doubles in the summertime in this town. That's perhaps understandable. But we don't do anything, we don't even attempt to do anything to deal with water consumption otherwise. Length of showers, how often you use your dishwasher, all those other things. It just seems to me that we should have had the inclusion of some kind of a volume component in the residential sewage usage. I know it takes a little bit more work to come up with that, but it seems to me that that is a fair thing to do. I was not able to get the real kind of information that I would like to have had for this, but just looking at household sizes tells me there is a real difference in what we can expect in terms of volume of sewage created. Thank you.
Dr. Pierce, you willing to field a question from Walter?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Does your U.S. data of Moscow include university housing?
You know, I really don't know. It said households. What I used was the community data, and it's an average for 2007, 2012, which was the only thing I could get. But the statement was household size. So I really can't answer that.
And does that count 6 students in one house, for, with a lot of bedrooms, or two per room and 3?
Well, that would be in the greater than 4.
Okay.
There was a 3 and a greater than 4. It was only 15%, if I remember correctly, that was in that 4-person. So I think it does not. I don't think that's the way it's done. But I really can't tell you.
I certainly don't. If I may, would Les like to speak to volume-based sewer billing or sewer rates?
Well, let's discuss that after the hearing. Does that sound all right? We'll bring that up here shortly, and maybe later with Sustainable Environment Commission or something like that.
Give Les a chance to think about what he's going to say.
I think Les is ready already.
Is there other testimony pertaining to the fee resolution as proposed?
My name is Stephanie McCulloch. I live in Pullman, Washington, 1160 Northeast Lake Street.
Welcome.
Hello. So I am a walk-on vendor at the farmers market, and I think this is my 7th year. So I just wanted to say that I like the idea of the $30 reduced fee compared to the $40 fee. Right now, I've always kept a full space, and I pay the $40 fee. But I think it does limit a lot of the vendors, and they've gone to half booths, or they just don't come because, you know, being a walk-on vendor for quite a few years now, you get to know the people, and you notice who isn't there. And there's quite a few people that have come for the last few years that aren't there this year. So I think the $30 fee is going to be much more encouraging for them to come. So, and I agree with the $15 registration fee. I think it's fair for all of us to pay that. I think right now just the, I don't even think the walk-on people pay it. I don't think I pay that. But I think it's mainly the season, you know, that have the pass for the year. But I think all of us should pay it. That's fair. Because they do a lot of paperwork and they meet with us at the beginning of the year and all of that. So that's more than fair. So I think that's it. I just want to say, Sue Scott, I like the way you think. I like it. Yes. I think that, what was it, the $16 fee for the 90,000, that is a bargain. So I just don't understand, Walter, see why you didn't like that. That is good. That is good sense. You can do a lot with that. Yeah.
You could do a lot with $900,000 by paying $160.
But we're off topic now, so we're going to.
Because I have to say, I'm sure you guys work really hard, and I believe you when you say you have to justify your jobs to people all the time. I totally believe that. But I was walking in downtown Moscow after the farmer's market, and I twisted my ankle in one of those potholes, and I was like, yeah, it's worth $16. If I lived here, I might just give you $16 to go fix that pothole. It
We
would
can
be worth
arrange
it.
that. We could arrange
So,
that.
yeah, definitely. So, anyways, thank you for your work. This is an interesting time. You guys do a lot of hard work, so thank you.
Thanks, Ms. McCullough. Get to see you twice in 2 or 3 days. Again, likewise. Other testimony tonight pertaining to the fee resolution. David, you had something else? Okay.
They're all going to show up.
I didn't. I could have done this, I guess, when I was up before. But with regards to the walk-on vendor fee at the market, a part of the discussion and a part of the thought of some of us who are on the commission is that walk-on vendors are vendors who want to try this out. We've said that before. But a good example of this is the vendor who came last year bringing berries. And my understanding is that every time he came, he ran out. So this year, he changed his strategy and he became a full-time market vendor. You may remember the first market we had this year when he had his berries, and we had a line that was going down Main Street because there were so many people that wanted his berries. We've moved him now twice to find a place where we can take care of the number of people who want to buy his berries. He is that popular. We probably would not have had him as a vendor if he had not been able to come initially as a walk-on. And that's what I think is one of the most important things about reducing that walk-on vendor fee. It allows people to come and try. It gives them a chance to see whether what they've got is going to be something that really is going to be popular at the market. And I think that's important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria Seaver, 121 North Lily. I just wanted to echo what David was saying about sewer rates. I don't know what all is involved. I can imagine there's some infrastructure type stuff there that's going to hit everybody equally. But as a person who's very much water conservative and zero-escaped and various things like that, I don't want to pay the same prices as someone who's putting out tons of water and tons of sewer stuff. So I do think that that should be considered, and whatever the whole big picture is, I just want to echo that I think that is a consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else come forward, I'll close this public hearing and open it up to the council, and I know Walter wanted to hear from Les as relates to volume-based sewage fees.
Just
Madam Mayor.
Rates.
just
Yeah.
an overview and a
Yeah,
quick
just,
question answer.
and just briefly before I delve into that, on the last comment that we just heard, folks that irrigate more in a residential setting, it does not affect their sewer fee. So that's, I think, maybe perhaps a bit of a misconception that if somebody uses more water for irrigation around their home, that somehow that affects their sewer rates. In residential, that is not the case.
Under the present structure.
Under the current structure, because residential properties are on a fixed rate, so therefore how much water they use for irrigation or other purposes does not affect their sewer rate. Which is kind of gets us to the heart of the question that was raised by Dr. Pierce. Why does the city not use a metered rate for sanitary sewer for residential properties? That's really his question. And it is something that some jurisdictions do. Most of those that I have seen over the years are in areas that do not have the challenges we have with meter reading in the winter months. People need to remember we estimate our water usage for residential properties and actually all properties through the winter months, really from November through February anyway, and usually we're reading again by March or April. The challenge that then presents for us in going to a winter-based average sewer amount, if you will, or water usage amount to then establish the sewer rate is if you get outside of those areas of time or the time period where we're not reading and we're just estimating, then you start picking up irrigation water. Okay? Or you can. That's changed a bit in years, but you start to see some differences. So we're not set up terribly well for it. It is something that the rate study consultant has looked at with us in the past, and there are some challenges in our system as we're currently set up to go to that type of a program. It is something we can look at further, and I see Don is looking to add something to what I'm trying to say here, and I'm not conveying it very well, unfortunately.
Actually, you are. I'm just going to add.
Okay, please
When
do.
you're ready.
Thank you, Les.